Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Hindash and Timmy. Oh baby. I'm finally doing a video with Remi again. I told you guys that I wanted to get her back on my channel and she's finally here. So this is the look that I created on Remi. It's a very beautiful shimmery olive green makeup look. I did a lot of glow. We focus on skin. And I love Remi so much. She has such great energy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're a new subscriber, don't forget to subscribe down below. Leave me a comment, a thumbs up, and I will see you guys very soon. Okay, let's get into the tutorial. I'm going to be starting off with skincare as usual. And for Remi, I'm going to prep her skin using the Caudalie Beauty Elixir, which I love using. Next, I'm going to be using the Dior Capture Youth Plump Filler. Remi's actually the one that put me on this and I love it. It's essentially a hyaluronic acid serum. So if you have a hyaluronic acid serum, you don't need this. And I like it before moisturizer because I feel like everything sinks in much more beautifully and it really penetrates the skin. For moisturizer slash primer, I'm going to be using another favorite. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. And I'm using that with a brand new damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to spread it on the face and rubbing it in. Now this is a very hydrating primer, but it feels kind of light on the skin. I don't know how to describe it, but it depends on how much you use, and you don't need a lot with this. For under eye cream, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Eye Rescue, and this is a very rich, thick, hydrating under eye cream. But because it is Charlotte Tilbury, it really works beautifully with makeup. Now for an oil controlling primer, I like to put this in areas where she would get oily, so not all over. And I'm using the brand new Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Mattifying Primer. And Remi told me that towards the end of the night, the makeup held really beautifully thanks to this primer. Because we were both kind of skeptical and we were talking about oil controlling primers and how they look great in the beginning, but they don't really hold up throughout the day, if that makes sense. So I am excited that she told me that this actually works. So I do want to try this myself because I'm very curious now, and it just felt very thin when I was applying it on Remi, which is always a bonus. It didn't have that silicone feel. For foundation, I'm taking one of my all-time favorites, the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation, and this is in Namibia. And I am going to be matching her neck because I am going to be using a much lighter concealer to really brighten and lift the under eye. And I'm going to be applying that with a Marc Jacobs foundation brush and really work it into the skin. You see how much you get to see that beautiful coverage that it has, and I mean Nars really does nail color in my opinion. So as always, I'm going to be working in thin layers and building up where I need it, focusing on the more pigmented areas around the mouth and jaw, and kind of thinning it as I get closer to the cheeks and eyes because I'm going to be using concealer for that, so I'm not too worried about having a lot of coverage there. I think when I was talking about my favorite foundations, I was talking about the Nars Sheer Glow, and I was a bit confused about the name, but it does make sense. Someone told me that the sheer glow means that it kind of gives you a bit of a glow. It's not that it's sheer in coverage, because it's not a sheer foundation. It's a medium buildable foundation. So the sheer glow is actually the finish of the foundation. So it's kind of like a hint of glow. I'm going to be hydrating her lips with the Fenty Beauty Pro Kisser Balm before I move on to the next steps. And again, just adding a generous layer and letting that sink in. This is a brand new product. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish Color Corrector in Deep 4. And this isn't even out yet, but I am going to be testing it out. You know, why not? So I went to London for the Charlotte Tilbury Foundation launch, which is going to be coming out in September. And she also launched these color correctors, so I was very curious to try them. So as you can see, I'm applying it with a brush, but I feel like it works better with fingers because it is kind of a hydrating formula. So it kind of primes the under eye for concealer, so it is very hydrating, which is always a bonus. For concealer, I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Concealer in 410. And this is the first time I use these actually. I want to test them out more. And I know this color looks very light. I do go in with the darker concealer after. And things did look much brighter on camera. So I'm just going to be blending that away with a damp beauty blender. And as you can see, as I blend it in, it does start to look a bit better. Next, I'm taking the shade 450 and putting that around the mouth and on the cheekbones and anywhere I want to kind of highlight even more and color correct. And once I start blending that in, I do get that true highlight that I want. And actually blends in with the lighter one very beautifully. Because I am going to be setting everything with a powder, so they're going to really blend in. I love using a damp beauty blender for concealers and really working in products together. So as you can see, she's all blended, and I'm going to be putting a bit of that concealer on the lids as a primer, and just to even things out. I'm going to be setting everything with the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder in Medium Deep. Another absolute favorite of mine. I love the Laura Mercier powders. And as you can see, as I apply that powder, things start to blend in seamlessly. And I'm concentrating it underneath the eyes and tapping whatever is left on my beauty blender all over the face to set everything very lightly. For brows, I'm taking the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in number 6. And I'm going to be making her brows fuller and more structured. Nothing too crazy, just following her natural shape and then adding more thickness. And then I am going to be taking the Urban Decay Brow Blade Pencil in Dark Drapes, my favorite. And I'm going to be taking that ink stain side and really do hair-like strokes throughout the brow. I've been loving this brow pencil so much. As an eyeshadow base, I'm taking the Danessa Myricks Color Fix in Primary Yellow. Because I am going for that olive look, so I want a yellow base to really make those colors pop. Now this base isn't extremely full coverage, but it does provide a really great base for any yellow shadow that you put on top. The trick is to really just pack it on and tap it in, and then putting that eyeshadow on top. So just take your time. For eyeshadow, I'm taking the Melt Cosmetics Gemini Palette. I have been wanting this palette for a very long time. I'm really obsessed with olive tones, and this palette just has all these perfect tones. So I'm going to be starting with the mustard shade and packing that on top of the yellow base. Now this color complements Remi's skin so much, I love it. But I am going to be using these colors as a base. I'm taking the dark brown in the palette and then working it into the crease, just to create more structure and depth. And then as a green base, I'm taking the Glossier Play Color Slide in Stable Relationship, which is basically an olive green. And I'm going to be applying that to the outer corners as a base. And I'm doing this very lightly. And I'm going to top it off with the olive green in the palette and just tap that color in to really build up the intensity. And as I'm tapping it in, I'm going to build that color into a wing shape. So as you know, I always like to lift the eyes. And then going back into that mustard shade and tapping it on top, making sure everything's blended. I'm going to take a bit of that black and just run it along the lashes, just smudging it as a liner to really frame the eyes. And I am going to be going in with the liner later. So it's a kind of a base. And as it blends with that green, it just gives you more dimension. Next, I'm taking that shimmery green with my finger and I'm just going to put it on top of the mustard yellow. And that just gives it such a beautiful glow and shimmer because we have all these layers underneath. So as she turns, it's going to catch up different particles of light and it's going to reflect kind of yellowish and olive and green all at the same time. I'm just going to be blending the edges with that warm brown. Make sure everything's nice and blended. For mascara, I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes Mascara, my favorite Charlotte Tilbury mascara. And just coat the lashes, and then I'm going to be going in with individual lashes on top. I'm going to be creating a very thin liner with a gel liner. Nothing crazy. I just want to frame the eyes. And going in with that black shadow on top and diffusing it and blending it out. For bronzer, I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Stalk'r Bronzer and Mocha Mami. And I'm going to be applying that as bronzer and blush. And it just adds that added warmth to the skin and just really lifts everything. And by the way, this is the darkest bronzer that Fenty makes. And because I didn't want to use blush with this look, this was perfect. For lips, I'm just going to line her lips with the Nars Mambo pencil. And you guys know I'm obsessed with this pencil. And for lipstick, I'm using the MAC Lip Tensity lipstick in Well Bred Brown. And I'm putting that on the center of the lips and blending it outwards. I really want that subtle nude lip, but I do want it to be noticeably lighter, if that makes sense. And to blend that in, I'm taking the MAC Double Fudge lipstick and then just blending it on top. Again, adding more dimension with layers, because why not? Love a good layer. I'm going to set her face with the MAC Fix Plus and Watermelon to prep her skin for highlight. For highlighter, I'm taking the MAC Extra Dimension Skinfinish Trio and Constellation Dreams. These are their new highlighter palettes. They're beautiful. They come in 3 palettes, and this is the darkest one. And I'm going to be taking that bronzy copper shade and putting it on the high points of the cheeks. They came out with a very similar palette in the holidays, and I was obsessed with it, so I'm glad they came out with 3 more that are just highlights. So again, I'm putting this on the high points of the face, on the bridge of the nose, the chin, the cheekbones. And taking the smaller brush, I'm going to go in on the inner corners of the eyes. And mixing that bronze shade with the lighter gold, I'm going to be tapping it on the inner corners towards the center of the lid. To finish off the look, I'm going to be taking a bit of that dark brown on the lower lash line just to tie everything together. And that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed the look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.